Parapsychology Today, a program of investigation into the realms of the unknown. Suspend your mind for a moment and journey to a world beyond the five senses. Parapsychology Today is a program exploring ideas, theories, and concepts that have been around since ancient times. We'll journey to outer worlds and inner worlds. We'll look into such phenomena as past lives, UFOs, and hauntings. And we'll explore psychic ability as it relates to human potential. We do not intend to prove or persuade, but rather present theories and personal stories of ventures into the world of parapsychology. Whatever your beliefs, we hope this program will start you thinking about a reality beyond the five senses.
Hi, I'm your host, Pauline Nortness, for Parapsychology Today, and thank you for watching another edition. Today we're going to be talking about a healing method called quantum touch. I'll be talking to Jennifer Taylor. She also helps people start healing businesses, so we're going to spend time talking about that as well. Jennifer, thank you for joining me from Maui, Hawaii. Wow, this is really exciting for me. Aloha, how are you doing?
Aloha, thanks for having me. Appreciate being on the show.
First, I want to ask you for your background. Like, how did you get into, what was your background? How did you get into this profession of energy healing?
Well, it started because I got a degree in computer science, and I realized about a year after I graduated that I was completely bored writing software. It was very linear, very left-brained. I hated it. And so I was looking for something else to do with my life, basically, and I went to massage school. And during massage school, I started working on people, doing the different types of massage work, and I started to feel something coming off of people, like a subtle energy, you could call it, or slight thickness in the air. I could see little lights coming off of people, and I got really fascinated by this because I realized what I was seeing was life force energy. I was actually seeing the energy fields coming off of people. And then something crazy happened. The universe, or maybe call it God, said, this is your life work. This energy can help heal people, and this is your actual life work. And a couple things crossed my mind at that time. First of all, I thought, God, you're crazy. Nobody makes a living doing this. This is really hippie and flaky. And second of all, I don't know how I would even, pay rent doing this. And I just think you're nuts, God. So that was my initial thought. However, it did turn into my life work. I met the founder of Quantum Touch, Richard Gordon, at a lecture he was doing on Maui, and got the download that I was supposed to be working for this company. And a bunch of synchronicities happened that led me to basically take on the role of what I'm calling Chief Magical Officer, or operations is what I do for Quantum Touch.
I like you said, Chief Magical Officer. That's great. And your life does sound magical, really. I mean, when you were a child, did you see things? Because a lot of people that I've interviewed that have done healing work have seen things when they were a child, If you saw energy coming off of people, not everybody who does massage is going to see energy coming off of people. So you must have that ability, or something within you. Do you think? Can you remember back?
As a child, I didn't really see things. It really started when I went to massage school. I was always interested in these types of topics, though, especially near-death experiences. I remember in high school, I did a book report on the James Moody book, Life After Life. So I had an interest in these things, but I hadn't seen energy until I started really working with people in massage school.
That's interesting, because we have a similar background, and not to jump in on your interview, but I met Richard Gordon too. I met years ago, I got his book, Quantum Touch, and I was so fascinated by this. I met him when I was living for a short time in California. I went to Barnes & Noble, and he was giving a lecture, and I was so impressed. I can see why you got into this. So you've done this for a little while, but now you've kind of we're going to talk about quantum touch first, and then we'll go into how you're helping people start their own healing businesses, which is interesting. So you met Richard and you were inspired by this, and I was very inspired by it. And I read the book. What I find hard is doing the. Can you tell us a little bit about quantum touch? I'll let you talk about it.
Sure. So first of all, we believe that healing is about working with life force energy. That when your body has a disease or when you have pain, it's actually a message from the universe of something that needs to be addressed within. So we believe in working with the life force energy to facilitate the body's own healing process. And healing is not just physical, it's also spiritual and emotional. So working with the life force energy can give us clues as to how to facilitate our own healing. And a lot of it is about raising your vibration, raising your frequency, and also raising the amplitude of energy. So it's the amount of energy that you're working with, plus you raising the frequency. So, and we believe that by doing that, your body has the energy and the intelligence to do its own healing process. So how we work is we teach in our workshops various techniques of working with life force energy. In our level 1 workshop, which is basically what's covered in that book, we teach people how to work with breathing and energy awareness to facilitate healing for the client or even themselves. And in our level 1 workshop, a lot of it's hands-on. So if, let's say, you have knee pain or shoulder pain, you can place your hands over the area where the person is hurting, and you can work with the breathing and energy awareness to amplify the life force energy and increase the frequency of the energy. And that's basically a simple explanation of working with the life force energy. And really, increasing the frequency is increasing the love. So we believe love is really the foundation of everything. So when you add more love, things become whole.
That's very interesting. Now, when you say add love, I mean, do you picture somebody you love, and then how do you bring out the love for the person? Like if they're strangers, so you don't establish a love. Can you explain the love thing?
Sure. Yeah, I would view maybe another way to say it is compassion,
Okay.
not like romantic love or the way you love a family, but perhaps agape love, or the love of spirit, the heart energy, or let's say that universal love that exists. So I could also call it compassion, just by opening your heart and connecting to the all that is, or spirit, or God, or whatever you want to call it. You're bringing in this higher frequency of energy. And I use love, but I think maybe compassion could be a better way to term it.
Yes, then I can get it that way. Yes, right. Because when people are hurting, I understand what you're saying, because I always say they shouldn't be hurting. I know we can all be healthy. And when I do these shows with energy healers, I try to explain to people who are watching the show that if you're stuck in 3D, you're just physical body, you don't understand that actually everything is energy, and that's how we do the energy healing. Can you kind of explain that? I mean, how do you get a person to realize that they're actually healing them? The body's healing itself. You're not healing them. The body's healing itself, right?
Yeah, so to be a very concrete example, I can't eat your lunch. If you want to have a snack, I can't eat it. You eat it. So similar thing, your body does its own healing. Even in traditional Western medicine, the body still has to do its own healing process. Let's say you get a surgery, your body is still healing itself. And so we believe that with the energy, amplifying the life force energy, you can give the body extra energy to heal itself. And it's a little bit mysterious, because how does your thoughts affect the outer reality? Nobody really knows. There's a bit of mystery involved. I can't really necessarily explain that very well. Even quantum physicists stumble on this. We don't know really. I mean, how can, I think I want to move my finger this way. Mm-hmm. How does that work? I don't know really. And even for people, the law of attraction is a bit mysterious, but we know that the energy that we're projecting into the world comes back to us. And in some sort of mysterious way that I really don't think I could explain to you. You know, it's the same thing about explaining eternity. I don't know really, but all we know is this is the mechanism, and this is how we believe the universe works, is that it's based on energy and consciousness.
Well, if a person heals, then you know it's working, right? And I've heard about raising your vibration. Now, if you keep your vibration high, will you stay healthy? And how do you raise your vibrations? I mean, how could I raise my own vibration? Is it a matter of my thoughts? Like if I'm thinking negative things, of course my vibration is going to lower. But if I can think of positive, happy thoughts, I can raise my vibration and probably stay healthy. That's
I think
simplifying
there's a
it.
lot to this. Yeah, I think it's a bit mysterious too, how to raise your frequency, but a couple things. I think a lot of people have what I call drag coefficients on their energy. So, for example, if you've had a lack of forgiveness in your life, like there's somebody who did you wrong and then you haven't been able to forgive them, I think that just kind of drags your energy down. If you have challenges in your environment or addictions or things that are less than whole within your life, I think that lowers your frequency. I think if you were in I think most people have some trauma, and that's really the challenge, is to forgive the trauma, because we tend to carry this stuff around. You know, we tend to have these stories about life isn't fair, you know, my parents were tough, my upbringing sucked. I mean, all these different stories that kind of, I think, interfere with our own healing process. And it's the willingness to forgive and let go of these stories that can raise our frequency. And a lot of times what I feel is blocking someone's healing process is this anger and lack of forgiveness about things that happened in their past. And they're carrying that into the present, and it actually, I think it can generate disease. Now, life force energy, when you send something love, all of this tends to come to the surface. So if buried deep within, there's this lack of forgiveness for, let's say, an ex-husband, and it's buried and maybe you even kind of are carrying it around, but it's just become background noise. When you apply love to it, it suddenly comes to the surface and it's there for you to process and release. I think that's in the highest good. So I think that's a big part of healing, is dealing with our kind of stuck or unprocessed emotions.
What you said makes a lot of sense. Now, do you think we keep some of these feelings in our subconscious? And how do we get to them?
A lot of things that we're not aware of that we buried long ago. And most people have maybe trauma they don't even remember or they blocked out. And so I do think they're buried. I don't think we actually know ourselves sometimes, right? And so what happens is when you apply love and life force energy, you're making, let's say, subconscious more conscious, because you're adding the ability to make it conscious using life force energy. Like you'll see in the movies too, like when people finally find, like they discover love, right? All their pain and trauma comes to the surface and it gets released. And I think it's a big part of healing.
I agree. And I've been studying energy healing for a long time. So when you said addictions, you know, that can drag a person down. And I think when people get addictions, don't they have like energy attachments to them? And that's another story, but that could also drag you down. And I've been reading that gratitude, like I keep a gratitude journal, attitude of gratitude will also raise vibration, won't it?
I think gratitude is super helpful. I think gratitude, even diet, environment, willingness to leave situations that don't really work. I see sometimes people call into the office and they're in an abusive environment and they don't want to leave for some reason. And so I think gratitude can raise your frequency, but it's also the willingness to let go of things that no longer serve you. And I think that is where people get stuck.
Toxic situations and toxic people and toxic situations that are in your life, you should let go of that. Is there a way, but let's say you've got a person, but you care about them. Can you help them if they're toxic, if you want to stay with them? Is there a way to help them? You know, if you don't know the answer to the questions, that's fine. I'm throwing out a lot of stuff at you.
Um, I believe that because we're all human, let's say you have a partner that has their own trauma they're dealing with, everyone does, right? So
Yes.
there's a level of relationships bring about healing, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship. It can be a vehicle for healing. Where I tend to draw the line is when that partner is abusive, either verbally or emotionally abusive. I believe it is not your job to heal someone who is abusing you. I believe that at that juncture, that's when you leave, and you can offer them references for therapists or other, trained professionals, but that's where I think people can go too far trying to heal an abusive person. And I would recommend actually leaving that situation.
You know, I agree with you on that. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. You don't deserve to be abused, right? You're kind of lowering your own expectations of your own life. I mean, you're not loving yourself that way, right? So you're not loving yourself. I think loving yourself really helps.
I think Jesus said, love others as you love yourself, with the caveat that you do love yourself. And I think a lot of people may have challenges loving themselves. So how can you love other people when you don't really love yourself? And I think that's part of our growth here is to find that self-love so you have the resources to love other people.
Exactly. Now, I've also going to ask you, you're not doing the healing anymore. We are going to talk about how you help people start their own healing businesses. But can you remember anybody that came to you that was able to be helped with the quantum touch? I mean, if you can give an example. If you can't, that's all right, because you haven't been doing that now.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of sessions when I started getting more into the business side, but I did do back a while ago, a person had called me and they had, I think it was broken their forearm, and it healed incorrectly. And the doctor was wanting to re-break it to heal better. So they called me, right? They called me and said, I don't really want to do that. And I said, sure, I'll work on you. So basically I did about a half an hour of distant healing work on this friend of mine, and it shored up, it healed itself. They didn't have to go in and fix it. It just magically healed itself. So sometimes energy can be really miraculous. One other story, I had a client once who had sciatica, pain radiating down the leg, and they had had it for years, and I did about a half an hour session. This was in person, and went away after half an hour. Years of pain went away. And then they said they decided to go paddling across the Pali coastline, and came back a little bit, but then they just thought about the session and it went away again. So it's an energy, it's a frequency, in my opinion.
So now you've done remote and you've done in person. Does one work easier than the other, or does it make any difference?
I don't think it makes any difference because you're dealing with energy and consciousness, which transcends time and space. It's more gratifying sometimes to have that physical connection and be able to do hands-on for an in-person client, but it's all just frequency and energy, so there's no actual time and space when you're dealing with energy.
Can you help animals?
Oh, animals are really receptive to it. I love working with animals. They love energy. I worked with cats and dogs, pets, and they'll let you know. They'll let you know where it hurts. They'll let you know where they want the energy, and they'll let you know when they're done. And it's really amazing. They're very in tune. I love working with animals.
Oh, that's great. Now, my last question, and then we'll talk about how you help people start their own healing business. No, I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, yes, you work with the medical profession. Can this help, like chiropractors, people that do Reiki? Well, Reiki's not as an alternative healing, but other people that do either other energy healings or medical stuff like chiropractors, acupuncturists. Can this help with that? And Reiki, which is also an energy healing. Will that complement it?
Yeah, quantum touch complements pretty much everything. Even if someone needs to go to the doctor and get a treatment, quantum touch can help with the healing process or recovering from surgery. Some people have maybe reduced their medications, but I'd recommend working with a doctor in that scenario. And it also combines well with other modalities like chiropractic. Let's say you get an adjustment. If you do the energy work after the adjustment, it can help hold the adjustment into place, help the body adjust to being aligned. And it also combines really well with Reiki if you're doing the symbols or some of the, if you've been attuned to Reiki energies, you can add in the quantum touch. So it pretty much combines with almost anything, I think.
Yeah, before we go, and I want to hold the book up one more time. That's Quantum Touch, because I read it, and I was really, I got to say, I'm impressed with this book, really impressed. And with meeting Richard Gordon, it was really interesting to meet him. And what really blew me away was he told the story of a man that came in, and a woman was all bent over, and this man used quantum touch on her, and her back straightened up, moved bones and everything. To me, that's like magical. It's a magical thing, isn't it? Well, that's why you're the magic lady. Okay, now we're going to change topics a little, because you want to talk about, you teach people to do, start their own healing business, and that's interesting. How did you get into that? How did you move in from doing the work to getting to helping people start their own businesses? You must have started your own business.
Well, so with Quantum Touch, basically a lot of my focus has been the business side of the organization, and I will help people with their business because that seems to be a sticking point for a lot of people. They really want to do healing work. They love the healing work, but when it comes to doing the business side, it's not always their interest or talent, right? So the idea is, I believe you can use the energy, the life force energy, to help with business as well. You can use the energy as a guide. So the energy can lead you into the pathways for business. So just when you do a healing process, the energy can guide, what do you need to focus on? Maybe it's something in your life that needs change, or it guides you into forgiveness. The energy can also guide you into, who do you meet? Where's the right place to start your business? How do you find a location if you need one? What's the best marketing strategies? How do you manage the money part? I believe the energy can be a huge guide to help you with these aspects. Especially with money, you can use energy with money, can guide you into how to balance the money part of your life. I've used it personally to help guide and balance my money part. And because money is energy. So I think a lot of people get stuck on the money part, and using the life force energy, it's like a global GPS. It's like helps you, balance things, not just health-wise, but finances as well.
That's interesting. When did you start your business, and how's it done? How have you grown?
So Touch, I've been around for 25 years. I got involved in 2002, so I've been doing this for 23 years. And also personally, like my finances, I didn't start using the energy work for business until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So it took me a long time to really understand that you didn't have to limit it to health. And so once I started following the guidance, it has led me into personally getting out of debt and saving money instead of living beyond my means. And I've started to follow up the business, and we've recently revamped a lot of the business because this guidance system, it wants the highest good for everyone involved. So I could get into more specifics, but just as an overall kind of idea, with business and money, this energy can guide you. And I don't know if you want something more specific, but I can give you more specific examples.
Only if somebody came to you and how you helped them. Can you think of, you don't have to mention the person's name, but can you mention somebody who came to you and wanted help with the healing business and how it worked?
Yeah, so I'm working with a business right now that we're working together on some projects, and we're just getting started on how to work with the marketing side, like how to bring more people in. And really that's following the guidance of what they want to do business wise. So we're trying to just figure out like what's the direction, what's in the heart of the owner, and that's the first step, and that can guide the business. So I'm just getting started on one right now.
So you bring a person in and you kind of watch their energy and kind of help them with direction. I mean, this is something I've
Yeah.
never gotten involved in before, so it's completely new to me. It's amazing.
So basically, the first direction is, what's in the heart of the owner of the business. So, do they want to grow the business? Do they want it to be a hobby? Do they have certain goals? What's guiding them to want it to do it as a business, right? A lot of people like to just do it as a side business, and that's fine. Some people want to make it their main business. Then a lot of what actually happens after that is usually their finances are pretty out of balance. Like most people are in debt or in the hole, right? Or they're just struggling with that financial side. And so that's very personal because you can look at, where are you spending money? Where is the money coming in? Are you charging enough? That's another issue for a lot of people. A lot of people just kind of give everything away for free. And that doesn't work if you don't want it just a hobby business. Where are you spending your money? Is your heart aligned with the expenses? So there's a lot about letting your heart guide your income and expenses. That's very personal for each person that I talk to around this.
I never would have thought of this. It's very interesting how to use energy to help you start a business. But so you went from doing the healing work to now help people start their own healing businesses. Do you have a preference? Are you glad you went into this? I mean, what made you change? I mean, drift into this?
Oh, I'll clarify. So I mostly use the energy for quantum touch. So it's not like my full-time job to help other people with their businesses, but I just help friends out with stuff I've learned from quantum touch. Is like I get some friends who need some help. Like, oh, I can help you with the guiding, like what's behind, your business, like what's in your heart for your business. So it's more of a casual thing that I do on the side in addition to quantum touch. But I mostly use it because quantum touch is my main focus.
It
So I
sounds
use
like
it
you
for
have a full
quantum touch.
life, Jennifer. This is just great. It's great that you're helping people heal and also start healing businesses. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye? Before we say
No, I
aloha?
think I appreciate the interview. And yeah, the business part's probably it's a huge topic. There's so many factors involved. So
You can do a book on
yeah,
it?
that's like
Maybe it's your turn to do a book on it.
maybe I'll do a book someday on it. But it's a huge topic.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the interview, the opportunity
Well, I
for the
appreciate
interview.
you talking to me from Maui. So I'm going to say thank you so much and aloha.
Aloha, thanks.
And thank you, folks, for joining us for another edition of Parapsychology Today. And we're going to put information up on the screen about all our guests, about our guest, how you can get in touch with Jennifer, her email, and also her website. And if you would like to, we'd like you to contact us if you like, because we'd like to know if you'd like have any suggestions on who, if you know somebody we might want to interview, or if you have any questions or suggestions, please contact us at parapsychologytoday24@gmail.com. You'll see all this information up on the screen. Also, we want to thank Kyle and Phil, the two men that work here, for helping us set this up. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye.